Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. So we're going to go over, I'm going to share how I've been using the Midori Codex, which is a journal that has over 365 pages. It probably has 370 to 380. I don't quite remember right now. So we'll do a pros and cons. I'll show a little bit of, like I said, of how I'm using it. And yes, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so what I eventually did was I took these in terms of the cover decorating. I'm not an artisan by any means, and so I had these extra A6 size washi tape stickers, and I just put it on the front and then but on the back, and that was pretty much it. Exposed spine. What's Before we get into a positive, let's just go and do our flip through. So right here, I just have my initials and the year that I started with the dash, and we'll see. I don't know how long. I assume I'll probably be in this until probably 2027. So we'll see. But you got that there. Now, how I started to kind of use this, or the intent was just long form, more dot provoking things, I guess. So maybe some reflections or whatever. I wasn't going to use any stickers or really any kind of colors. It's going to be black ink, just very boring. But it's over time, and I guess just how I started with these kind of monthly title pages, I try to do some stuff, but the intent was to keep it very basic. I did that for a couple of months. These are just from the sticker. It was like a washi tape sticker book, and it had like journaling pages in the back. If anyone is curious about where I got those, let me know, and I'll see if I can find a link. So July 2024, I started to use the stencils. No color. Let's see. All right, here. Okay, well, what's on the other side is where I think I used some Sharpie pens, and of course they bled through. And so rather than not doing anything with the page, I think I'd had some washi tape and I just added a bunch of washi tape to this side of the page. These like I said, I didn't intend to use stickers, but then just started to. I have a lot of these stickers from these collection books, and which are these. I'm not crazy about these stickers because of the outline, the color of the outline, but whatever. Here's a page, so randomly, just different headers for the dates. But I started to really use it just for okay, ideas, and when I would get new pens. I don't have an index page on this because I didn't intend on, putting collections or whatever in here or pen tests, but I did. So this is the zebra mild liners, which look really nice in here, I think. And then I have the Papermate Inkjoy Gel point 0.7 right here. The set of 10, so I think just the standard colors, but I like those. The Tombow hard tip brush pen, with those colors there. Again, this is some washi tape that I took off some packaging that a good friend sent me, that I also put on these cups to hold pens and stuff. Here's another one of those stickers. I'll just randomly place them. I use the zebra mild liners for headers sometimes. I also, let me see, I think I have it swatched in here somewhere, but let me see if I can find it. So here are these highlighters that are really nice. So I'll use these colors for headers. There's a blank page. So pros and cons. I guess we'll go into the pros first. So the size. A5 generally is a good size. So I have a lot of room to do whatever. You could use this book literally for whatever you wanted. Pro, the dot grid. I like the dot grid. Pro, the number of pages. Pro, just aesthetic. Like I like the exposed spine because it's so plain when it comes. You could really, if you're a true artist or if you have the ability to draw or whatever, just want to splatter some ink all over the front and back of this book, you could do that. It's just you have the space and free formatting or just, no restriction to just do whatever you want. So that's what comes to mind. I could use all those things that I showed, don't bleed through. There's ghosting, of course. This isn't like 160-gram GSM. I think this is 160-gram GSM. I don't know what I just said. 160 GSM. But this paper is much thinner. This is, I think, like 120 possibly. And I have other videos talking about more details, so that might be in there. But so it is, it does have there's some thickness to it, which kind of leads into a con. So a con being it's just a heavy book. So if you wanted to carry this around with you for whatever reason, how depending on how you use it for work or whatever, like it is a heavy book. You have to get, well, I highly would recommend getting the clear cover for it. And you have to use the one that's intended for it, which is, the Midori Codex one a day page or something, that the one with the terabyte, because it's a bigger cover as opposed to just the Midori A5. So you want to look for the one specific to the Midori Codex one a day page. Oh, Pro, I forgot these little tearaway tabs. I like it. It just makes it easier. So if you're not a fan of bookmarks, you could use that without having to use tabs. If you didn't want to use tabs. I'm not a big tab person, but so it's heavy. A con is for me the color of the paper. I just cannot with this cream. I definitely prefer the white paper, like the Tomoe River paper, in my current planner. So this color paper, I'm sure you can clearly see the difference. I much prefer this style of paper. That is probably one of the biggest cons for me is the color of the paper. It's somewhat comfortable to write on. I I don't know if I'm describing it correctly because it's a little bit thicker. It's a little toothier. If that's, like I don't know. It just there's more texture to this book to this kind of paper than there is to the Tomoe River paper. But this is really good paper. Do not get me wrong. But let's say, for example, if I'm using the point 0.3, this is going to feel a little scratchier and less smooth, as opposed to if I use the point 0.7. Oh, this is definitely smoother. It's a nicer feel when you write. To me, that just makes a big difference, especially if you're going to use this for long form writing. If you are a TRP paper user, I don't know. Me personally, I'm gonna use this because there's just no way I'm gonna waste this thing. I think like on Amazon right now they're like $20. But when I bought this, it was like 27 to 30 something dollars. So I'm definitely gonna use all of this. But once I'm done, once I need a new journal, I'm definitely gonna get a TRP journal notebook. So now kind of a pro and a con is the thickness of the paper. What's I don't have to worry about any of these things that I use. I know I'm not going to have a problem. But by it being thicker, it makes it just a bigger, thicker, heavier book, which I guess is a combination of a couple of those cons. But so I can't really knock this. Like I said, it's very flexible. I feel like if you wanted to use it as a bullet journal, you could definitely do that. If you wanted to use it as a bullet journal planner plus reading journal, I mean, you could just do so much because there's so many pages. And if you want to get a little bit more creative with the supplies that you use or the inks or I'm not a fountain pen user, so I can't show that and how that might look or any watercolor painting or anything like that, but I have seen people use it, so I can't really speak to that. But for how I'm currently using it, I mean it just works really nice. What I have it in right now is my Hobonichi cover. I don't remember, in this thing, I could use it clean. I don't remember the artist. There you go. Can you see that? So that's who makes that. So I keep this in here. It does come with these stickers as well. Am I still okay? It comes with these stickers. I do not use them, as obviously you can see, but they're here. I made this pencil board, so I just keep it in the back, and that's it. That is currently how I am using my Midori Codex. It serves me well. It fits perfectly in here. It's probably going to get a little bit thicker and chunkier. I'm all messed up over here. It's going to get a lot thicker and chunkier once I finish it. Like I said, I think I'll be done with this probably within by next year. Not sure exactly when, but I am definitely going to get a Tomoe River paper notebook. Considering going down to a B5, I'm using a B5 planner for 2026, and that's going to be a tight but squeeze. But I think the B6, as I'm using this for, would be really nice because I don't need all this space. I'm not crazy with art. I'm not using it as a planner. I'm in it every day, but I don't take a full page every day. It's just short, whatever, workers crap, you know, I don't know, clear in my head. But anyways, so yeah, that is my Midori Codex. Uh, as I'm using as my journal currently. Consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.